I think sometimes in this culture of ours, we all get to a point of too much. We live in a culture of too much. I mean, it wasn't too many, years ago, decades ago, that human beings, all they had to do was survive, just focus on food, shelter, water, and just to survive. Now we have prosperity, and so we have more than we need. We got too much food, we got too much travel, too much alcohol, too many meetings, too much work, too much information. We're on Facebook forever. Too much technology to keep track of. News, we get news by the second. There's so much of that too too much. We have all kinds of kids activities we take our kids to. You know, we get to the point and it's just too much, and we've all kind of had that feeling. Um, how many how many food delivery services are there out there now? We don't even have time to cook. We have to have our food delivered. Just one symptom of too much. And it can be stressful. It can cause lots of anxiety, even depression, because we can't keep up. And there's too much to handle. And we can't get to that because we have to do this. And it can just drive us crazy. Now, that's our culture. Now, we have to live in this culture. And so we have to figure out what to do with that. First of all, not to drive ourselves crazy, and also to kind of do what we need to do. Be productive, be good people, good family, good parents. Just to do that, we have to figure out, well, what do we do with all that? What do we do with all that? So, there are some ways to handle that. Lent is a good time. It's an opportunity, maybe even an excuse to kind of practice some things of reducing the too much and reducing some of those things, weeding some of those things out just to give ourselves a break, maybe. But also to kind of, look a little bit deeper and see what's really important. And some of those things aren't that important. So Lent is a good time. Lent begins with the image of Jesus going into the desert. Desert, there's not much out there. There's not too much in the desert except too much heat, or too much danger, maybe. And so go into the desert's an image of reducing things, of simplifying, of weeding things out. That image of the desert, might make sense to us to practice that a little bit, to see how we can have less stuff, less things in our lives, at least for a little bit. Maybe we find out that that's good, that works better, and maybe do it for the long haul. But Lent is a good time maybe to practice that, see how that's like, what that's like. Now, one of the first things to do is to prioritize. We have lots of stuff going on. We have lots of things drawing our attention, lots of things to do, of things to accomplish. First thing is, if we're going to, try to see if reducing that or simplifying, is to prioritize. What are the most important things? What are the things that we absolutely have to do, have to get done, have to do? And to keep track of those and separate those from, things that aren't that important, things that, can be sloughed off a little bit or put on hold or maybe just skipped all entirely. We all have some things that aren't that important. So to kind of keep track of those, see what's important, prioritize, and see what's not important, and maybe let go of some of the less important things, maybe even just for a little bit. Now, schedule. If you're like me, if it's on my schedule, it doesn't happen. And to use that schedule to our advantage. These little things called cell phones have built-in calendars on them. And we can kind of schedule things or weed out things off that schedule. And that helps us keep track of them. So that's one, helpful thing to do. Maybe use a schedule to just schedule in the important things. Another thing that's helpful a lot of times is nature. Just take a walk in nature or drive through the wilderness or just kind of go out where there's less noise, less traffic, less people. And that has kind of a natural way of kind of simplifying, of kind of weeding out some of those things that, kind of stresses out. So, maybe that's, what we can schedule in. Fasting. Maybe, we talk about fasting from food. Maybe we can fast from news. News is so stressful these days. We get it all, 24 hours a day. And maybe don't need all that. Maybe we can fast from that a little bit. Or Facebook. Facebook, we spend a lot of time on Facebook, many of us. So, I have my phone keeps track of how much time I spend on Facebook or on playing games or whatever. And I can keep track of that pretty easily. My phone does it automatically. So I can see, well, yeah, I don't have to spend that much if I don't want to. Another thing, just spend time with friends with no agenda, no nothing, just kind of being with each other. That can be helpful. That can be slowing down. Maybe, one less meal out, going out to eat. Maybe that's another way, you cut down on the expense for one thing, but also the kind of the time and the effort to kind of go. And maybe that's a way of kind of, getting away from some of the too much. So there's numbers of things like that we can do if we want to, but we have to kind of focus on them. We have to be conscious of those things. Now, another thing I like is I call them mini vacations. Not all of us can go on vacation 3 times a year or whatever, or 3 weeks away or whatever. But mini vacations, we can do that. Short things, maybe even 5 minutes can be a little mini vacation. The time that you're waiting on a meeting to start, or your coffee to brew in the morning. Most of us say, well, that's just time. It's just wasted time. Well, that's possible in those 5 minutes to have a little mini vacation. And one way to do it is to kind of just relax, kind of center oneself, kind of focus inward, maybe focusing on your breath, seeing, just kind of noticing the in and out of the breath, or maybe sitting, feeling, just kind of the chair you're sitting in, and just kind of clear your mind, be right here. Don't think about what's going to happen or what happened yesterday, but kind of right here, just kind of relax and just kind of clear one's mind, center oneself kind of right here, right now. Sometimes, saying a favorite prayer is helpful in that sense, in that 5 minutes. Anything to kind of clear out the mind, clear out the heart from all those things we're usually kind of all over scattered about. So that kind of 5-minute short mini vacation can happen. Or you can kind of go inward in your imagination and imagine a peaceful setting, like the ocean. Imagine what it's like sitting at the ocean. Close your eyes and for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or the mountains, or wherever you like to go, or whatever is peaceful for you. One type of prayer is contemplation. That's a prayer of, instead of outward prayer, just words, we go inward and listen to what God might be saying inside of us. And we have to be quiet for that. We have to kind of weed out some of the busyness, some of the too much, just to be able to hear, to listen. So that's contemplation. And you can do that in, however long you want to, a few minutes, half hour, or whatever. We can use our imagination to do that. Our body reacts to our imagination like it does to reality. If I imagine I'm at the beach, my body tends to react that way, even though I'm not physically at the beach. So imagination is a powerful thing. We can use that to kind of take those little mini vacations. And the important thing is to do what's manageable. 5 minutes, if that's manageable, great. If 30 minutes, fine. And don't make it just another task to do. Just make it whatever's manageable. Like the old McDonald's commercial, you deserve a break today, right? And that's true. But instead of going and getting a Big Mac at McDonald's, take a break. Take your own break. Take a mini vacation. Take a time to just be quiet. That can do wonders for our mental, physical, and spiritual health. Just to kind of get away from the too much, just once in a while throughout the day. that can do wonders. So I hope that's helpful. I wish you all good luck in dealing with all the stuff that we all have to deal with, and to find a little bit of quiet, a little bit less too much, and kind of be anchored in this wonderful creation that God has given us.